right, welcome everybody to the 2028 Trade Deadline podcast here with JR.
Let's go.
We've got a
Trade deadline. Excited for the sim tonight.
Yeah.
And let's get into the fire. I said it was had the most parity of the two conferences, and it's the one I'm excited to talk about the most.
Yeah, 3 hours away from the deadline, so maybe still some trades to be done, but it's been a really active deadline. Already a ton of trades, not just here right at the deadline, but just this season leading up to it. So hyperactive this year, which is fun to see. But anyways, let's start off in the Ruby division, because that's where our champion, runner-up, I should say, Fire Conference champion and TBL runner-up was last year. That's Daryl and the Chiles Picantes. Sitting in second place right now, but we'll start with them. Just take a look at their squad. What are your thoughts here on the Chiles Picantes?
Classic San Antonio squad, leading the league, or leading the conference in runs scored, and not worrying too much about run prevention. And that's a big thing in this conference. I think every team pretty much handles run prevention pretty well. The teams in the Ruby actually hit the ball. So Daryl, he doesn't. His bats don't seem to go cold. Even though I see some batting averages. I mean, everybody has these 175s and 180s in there. It seems like this year, and but it's great offense. I like his team.
Yeah, we'll see the league average here has dropped year after year here the last couple of years in the Fire Conference. Basically since 2022, it's been a trend down. So maybe even before that, if you really want to dig into it. Don't know what that's all about. I mean, significantly lower league ERA this year.
I've dived into the numbers, and we can get into it throughout this podcast, but yeah, if you put the ball in play, good luck. So Ross BABIP and 238 average for the whole league is pretty paltry.
Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, the numbers aren't as skewed in the Ice Conference. You see kind of a similar trend to what we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years. But the Fire Conference has dropped off a cliff for some reason.
Yeah, we'll get into the other division, but there is nobody who can hit in that division. So,
yep.
I don't know if it's just a shared mentality, everybody competing against each other and building teams that are similar. But yeah, it's a Fire Conference thing.
You guys have a couple of studs right here with power right in the middle of the lineup. Marolanda, it's been a staple here in San Antonio for a couple years now. Still on those rookie years, but I mean, he's put up impressive numbers, and he's performed in the postseason as well. So he's becoming a household name. Lance Fitzgerald, not really on my radar as much, but looks like he's having a really nice, what do you want to call this, third year in the league. So
yeah, it doesn't look like the biggest middle of the lineup, but like we said, the average, everything's down. Marlanda's he's got a 154 OPS plus, and Fitzgerald's at 130, so that's a solid 4-5. Stroud's not horrible, 123 OPS plus, even though the numbers look pedestrian. So it's a productive middle of the order.
Yeah, and you pointed it out, run prevention isn't really important here. It doesn't hit a lot of home runs, which is I feel like kind of an unusual thing for Daryl's teams.
Yeah.
11th in home runs, but really bad on defense for the most part, and pitching isn't great, so we'll see what this team can do. I mean, they've been in the postseason pretty much as a staple over the last decade, and kind of trending that way again this year, so yeah.
I'll let you know. He does a good job with picking up free agents. Somehow they fit, and we're seeing that again. So a lot of different familiar names that may be in other places in the league are with him now.
Yeah, most of his prospects are pretty far away. A couple guys in Double A. And talking about free agents, like you just mentioned, his highest paid guy now is Jose Ortega. He paid him 3 years. This was one of those international guys, and he gambled on him, and it's worked out for him in the past. This guy's not doing that great this year. He's kind of mid. He's 30 years old, about to be 31, so might be eating some money for a couple years. Or I guess it's not. I guess it's just a 1 year contract. Never mind. I take it all back.
It is. Is it on auto renew? Yeah. So he's a rookie. So it will auto renew at 20 million.
Yeah, and then he'll hit arbitration. You're right. Yep. So
yeah. So interesting player, Ortega, because he's one of those guys who have a great eye, but are pitchers afraid to throw to him? Probably not. So how good is the eye? You know, you can. I always say that you can chop a guy's arms and legs off, and you can have an 80 eye. It doesn't mean anything. It's something where you gotta provide a threat. So the Ortega might be having a harder time doing that.
Yep. I don't know if Daryl's been active at the trade deadline. I haven't been following. I'll figure it all out when I process it tonight. I'm not sure if you have a beat on what's gone down here in the last day or two, but yeah, let's look at the next team.
Yeah.
Who's that? Phoenix. It's got to be Phoenix.
I love Phoenix.
The resurrection of Phoenix, and we can talk about the trade deadline with Phoenix because I definitely know they've made some moves.
Yes.
So yeah, I think Phoenix has maybe one of the better. I mean, he has the best pitcher, I think, in the TBL now. I think Sudith stands alone at the top, but there's some other good ones out there. I guess you could argue it, but this guy's been, I don't know, he's been nasty.
Yeah.
He's the one that got through, the one draft pick that got through the Phoenix system, first rounder, and made it. And he's an anchor here.
I think Sudith woke him up. I mean, you see Mike Taylor right there. Those trades were made a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. Good pieces.
This is the prime example of somebody who, just decided to use his money to build a good TBL team that coincided with Sudith coming up, and he is at the top of the division with a really balanced team, defense, good pitching, run score. This is a team that is legitimately, where they're at without any smoke and mirrors here.
Yep. He's been active in the trade deadline, like I said. Traded away a first and a bunch of other pieces for Wally Gullidge from Mexico City, which was, I thought, a great pickup. I think both GMs did pretty good on this trade. Obviously, Mexico City needs to sell and hasn't been selling, so finally has kind of made a move here. We'll see how Gullidge does once he gets out of Mexico City, but this dude's been as solid as it gets over the last couple seasons. And he's durable. Look at the starts. So really like this pickup for Phoenix. And then the other pickup was Kyler Baxley from Baltimore.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And where's Baxley? DFA'd?
Yeah. First, second, fifth. 3 prospecty players. Don't know.
Yep. So, I don't like this one as much, but I think Baxley's, I don't know, Baxley's been good, and to pick up both those pieces is just like such an all-in move by Phoenix, which is their MO, or has been their MO when they've been a successful team.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of, the 4 or 5 guys in his rotation aren't reliable enough. Josh Michael, his 3 guy, is all right. But yeah, he gets a chance to throw Baxley in there, and that's a nasty 1, 2, 3. The back end's okay. Oh, Gene DuPont. He's a guy who used to be in the Somerville Oregon. We traded him to Phoenix. He's a closer. Looks like he gives up a little bit of hard contact, but doesn't walk too many people. But it's a very right-handed bullpen. One lefty, it looks like right now. Yeah. So it's a team. I think that it's a good team. Let's see what they do in the playoffs. I think that's the next step to see what type of playoff run these guys can put together.
Yeah, again, they're my pick. I think this year, my outside pick to make it to the finals.
It's a good team,
but I think at least the conference finals, and if anything less than that, I think you got to be disappointed if you're in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because this is what, third year in a row now, maybe fourth year in a row they're going to be in the postseason. So you want to see that forward trajectory at some point, third season.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and looking at the pitching. Yeah, it has a big name. It has big names, but he definitely can get more out of his pitching. They're not near the top of the conference completely, but they could be. Additions that he made.
It's funny, he gives Caden Allen a giant contract, right? And the dude's raking for him over 2 years, and all of a sudden he's putting up half a WAR over the season.
Yeah, well.
Man got paid and he stopped playing baseball. Just an average Joe.
He doesn't have any. He's a low loyalty trait, whatever. Yeah, it looks like he can't hit righties as much, and I don't know. Once you have that split where the righties are your bad side, these things can happen quickly. So that's the thing with Caden Allen that may have happened.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Yep.
Yeah. Very splitty. Oh my goodness.
Mike Taylor's the other guy getting paid a lot of money.
224. He's a 574 OPS against right-handed pitching. So that tells you what Caden Allen's doing against righties. But it's a tough go right now for him.
Yeah, it's pretty wild splits right there.
Yeah.
Like I said, Mike Taylor's the other big guy getting paid a lot. Traded with Rochester. Did he extend him 5 years? It looks like he might have. So he traded for him and then he extended him. So he's going to have him into his mid-30s. Again, he's an ace. He's a lefty. I don't hate it. This is Phoenix's window, and they're going for it. So
yeah, this is how you hammer that window.
And the system's back to being pretty much empty. They've sent away a lot of pieces. Some of these guys might be on the block right now. I haven't looked. Probably are. Or within those trade deals, I should say. So, yep. All right, who's next? Third place, the Oahu Paddlers. Never would have thunk it. I don't know what to tell you about this team.
Well, I mean, go ahead, because it's a good job by you here on this team. But yeah, go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was going to suck this year. I traded away two of my best relievers to Milwaukee for first-round picks to start the season. I have continued to put these bullpen pieces on the block, and I've talked to some people about them, but now I guess I'm just going to roll the dice and see what happens. But I just went hard lefty. I went hard lefty this year. I was like, I'm going to get as many fucking lefties as I can. And I'll tell you, most of these guys were picked up like on the first waiver wire sim or the second waiver wire sim. So yeah, Philly waiver wire. John Taylor, which I just love the stamina and the hold runners on this guy. He's not doing great, but whatever. But like, no, a lot of these guys.
Well, yeah, this is once again, I'm gonna
waivers.
Toot my own horn here. I'm gonna see some of the guys in that bullpen in the back end. They're not gonna.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry. Whenever I see some of the guys in the back end,
yep,
they're going to, like Dennis Hansen. That's the guy I'm talking about. He's nasty. I think you got him pretty cheap from me, but I had no room for him.
Yeah, I've just got him specialist right now versus lefties.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he's putting up huge numbers, or good numbers for a reliever, great numbers for a reliever.
Yep, no, he's pitching really well. Yep, so no, that was my strategy. Tom Everett, I tried to move him aggressively this offseason. No one bit. And honestly, he's a lefty, and he fits my part perfectly, so I probably should just hold on to him.
What's he asking for?
I don't know. Good question. I'll keep that between me and Mr. Everett. Professional courtesy.
There's a screen where I can almost see that, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, the agent talks behind the scenes. What can I do about that?
Oh my goodness.
Nick Nunez, yeah, this dude's, I don't know. This dude can rake, but he's been my DH. He's putting up a pretty good season. But we won't go too far down this team. They're not great. I hope they make the postseason. That'd be fun.
Yeah, all offense. It seems like looking at the pitching leaderboards. And
I'm defense. I'm defense.
Yeah, the pitching is doing nothing.
Even with the defense.
Yeah, the defense was good.
Yep. So, yeah. This is my contracts page. Matt Sullivan will hit free agency. Ola's not coming back. I mean, they're all gone. They're all gone, right? The Spars is done. Thank God that's gone off the books finally. Reset button next year. So again, this was not an unexpected year of being competitive, and I've got nothing on the books next year. Maybe I'll approach it like San Antonio does. Who knows? Maybe I'll just rebuild. I don't really know.
The GMs have gotten so good in the league that free agency or having a lot of money going into free agency it's not what to spend it all now.
Yeah.
Because people are spending it correctly.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's look at my system real quick, and then we don't really have to look at the system. I've got Terry. He's still top 5. He's coming along. I know you don't love this profile, but hey, if that power and that eye go all the way to 80, I'll take it.
That's a great profile. But
yeah. Oh no, I thought you said at one point it wasn't your favorite profile.
Or something if it hits.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a great profile.
I mean, he's stayed top 5 for a couple seasons now, so I feel like he's developing and staying on track. Perez, I'm worried about the injuries, so I don't know. We'll see if anything else comes from it. They're all pretty young. Up next, Vancouver Vandals, 55-50. And yeah, what are your thoughts on Chris and the Vandals? Offense is pretty nuts right now.
Just me.
Say that again.
GM of the year for me.
Oh man, I don't know if I can go that far.
I can. This is amazing. I don't care how. This is smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Because I don't know what his run differential was after this sim, but I don't think it's positive. But it's amazing. It's fun. I like what the Vandals are doing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's tough to win GM of the year when you haven't exported 7 times this season. So
that gets him. Listen, that's exactly how you're
maybe that is where you get GM of the year. You get hands off. You realize you got to just let go of the wheel and be like, Jesus, take control.
You wake up one day and you're in the playoffs. It's awesome. This is how you have a work-life balance and everything while playing OTP. It's awesome. He gets the vote from me.
This team hasn't been there for a minute, so if he gets in, it'd be nice. It would break his streak. It'd be the first time in a decade. So we'll root against it. See if the Vandals can. Well, unless they knock me out, I'm gonna root against that. But if they want to sneak in somehow, that would be good for the parity of the league for sure. So. But you're right. The offense. Look at the home runs, top 5.
Yep.
These guys rake.
I like it.
And specifically, Ruano here, 24 home runs already on the season. Kind of a bland profile, but.
Hold on a second. Because I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's bland. It's very bland. Because my scout has a lot different things than what we're seeing, and yeah, it's not too. It's a very bland team, but he also steals. I'm going to use the word steal because they're the Vandals. Rule 5 guys or guys that are in different organizations, and he puts them on a major league roster. And I think this is the year that he's starting to see some return from that. And the genius to that is that his minor league system is horrible. So why not let other teams use their minor league systems to cultivate players and just take them? So that's a great move.
That is a good strategy. And honestly, no, he does.
Move.
I give him credit. He's
That's
had like
nice.
100 to 120 people
Yeah.
on his list the last few years. He's been really mining that draft for sure.
Yeah, and it's working.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Would love to see him be a little more active, but that is what it is. Salaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guzman locked up for a couple years, and I actually like this guy a lot, so I don't hate locking him up. He is 30, but I like a defensive profile like this and a guy that can hit at least marginally.
Yeah, that's a type of player that is a good franchise backbone. So that's a good deal. The fans need something. They need something in this in Vancouver, whichever Vancouver it is. I don't know if it's the Washington one or the British Columbia one, but they need to get some value just for being fans. And Guzman's the type of guy who does that.
Yep. Pretty deep system for, not being manicured very well. He's got a lot of good prospects. And actually his system's getting better. Let's take a look here. What's his record across the minor leagues? It's going to tell us here somewhere, right? I feel like that's a screen.
There's one in Stats Plus.
What is it?
I can...
Oh, over here, right? Here, minor league teams.
It's better than it's been.
It's better than it's been. Yeah.
395 across all levels.
Like there's teams on the field. So.
Including the major league team. So, or the TBL team. So, yeah. It's in the minor leagues. He's at 363 win percentage. So I see teams trade for the Vandals players, and I'm not going to put the Malik or whatever on Vancouver, maybe happened to Denver. But the Vandals players are tough to trade for if you look at what happens to them after they get traded. The overalls and the potentials make sense, and then they get to a place and you realize that they haven't been really taught to play baseball, or they're injured, or they threw 6,000 innings in rookie ball or something, and it's a system I look at as fool's gold.
Yeah, I mean, some really great pieces have come out of there, but you do have to kind of look through it with a fine tooth comb, a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next.
Sorry,
No, I was just gonna say let's move on to the next team.
Yeah.
In the spirit of keeping good
Oh
time
yeah,
today.
definitely.
The Sasquatches. What do we think of Don here? Year 2. 54
I was just looking at his
41.
team because I play them in tonight's sim coming out. So Don is a technician. Lot of lefties in the lineup and in the bullpen, and you notice that he's running openers a ton. So openers that look to appear to be I think they're lefties, and then he goes to righty, and then you get into the pen, and he's mixing and matching. So this is a guy who knows how to work the strategy, the sliders, doing all those things. And then he has 2 good platoon lineups. Right-handed lineup has a lot of lefties, and the left-handed lineup has a lot of righties or switch hitters. So it's a team that had a lot of talent. We always talk about what Chris was able to do by accumulating the talent, and then it just took that extra TLC and know-how from Don to really make them a playoff team last year. And now that the division's so strong, I don't want to, it's not like they're underachieving. It may feel that way, but this is a good team. It's not the greatest with power, but everything else is pretty good. They don't score runs. That's a problem.
Yeah, it's really been. I mean, look at the starting rotation. Yeah. The starters' ERA is 3.32. Like the league in pitching WAR. Justin Davis, this dude's sexy. and maybe I've said this before, but not on my radar. He kind of had a down season last year after being really good the first 2 years in Washington, and he's kind of back to form this year, maybe even better. Um, but the numbers have been really good there. Yeah, his offense looks pretty bad right now. Across the board, and like you said, he took over a team that was kind of neglected for a few years and had some strong foundational pieces, but by no means were they like pull away talent in this division. So I think he's right where he belongs, right in the pack. Um, the question is, does it trend up or does it trend down? And he made the playoffs last year, so congratulations on that accomplishment. First time for the franchise in a while. So trying to get back there again this year with the plus 500 record here, 105 games in. Anything on the books? Nope, not really.
No.
This is a pretty light team. Even the prospects, there's not like a lot of prospect depth here. It's a lot of just like 1 year contracts from established guys.
Yeah. Don, he chats with me in the DMs often whenever I send a trade out, whatever. And he seems to be hell bent on really drafting and developing and making sure that maybe I don't know where in the minors he's doing it or what's going on down there. I haven't really looked at that, but he's trying to make this a grassroots effort. But it's tough. It's tough to change the actual organizational attitude sometimes when you're taking over from somebody else.
Yeah, I mean he's got a pretty good organization to do it. Even though the Sasquatches have been pretty shitty, they've got like a really good fan base. So I think he'll be able to do that. And if you look, his minor leagues are performing pretty well. The rookie leagues are struggling. I think he had some roster issues maybe in rookie league. So did like 6 or 7 other GMs. Had to bump a little bit, but no, the top leagues are all winning right now. And I think he's still a dangerous. Now that he's settled in and he's a dangerous opponent. And we'll see what he looks like. We'll see what we're saying about him in 10 years. I guess that's where I go.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's going to be in for the long haul. This is a good job. It's a team that's run into the conditions of the league as far as offense, and you got to deal with it. And hopefully they get hot.
Yeah. Before we go to the next team, the Bighorn Rams, I wanted to go to the expanded standings page and look at the PySag, and we should probably talk about Vancouver being +8. They're negative 62 run differential with their 55-50 performance, like you were talking about. Performing at a high level right now.
That's GM of the year material.
Yeah, but Johnny's on the opposite end of that bad luck. -8 in the PySag, +80 run differential, 54-51 right now, and this is the team that probably scares me the most down the stretch because of that bad luck.
Yes.
Thoughts on the Rams?
This is the team that I would pick and put my money on to start the season. The bad luck, you can see it. You can see where the bad luck is. It's with, it's tough to comment on base running without watching. And I'm not a big base running metrics guy because a lot of things can happen, but you don't see them. But for some reason, they're getting on base and they're not scoring. And I'm looking to see why that is. It's it's an interesting conundrum because, like I said, you can't see what's going on. Like, do you fire the third base coach? Do you fire the first base coach? Or somebody not, doing? Is somebody just a crappy base runner? It's tough to really see this stuff. But if I'm just looking at the numbers, it seems that he's getting on base and not getting a big hit. He's got a lot of players with a negative WPA when probability added, and that usually means that they're in the wrong spot of the lineup. And it's interesting. It's something where we got guys like David Bostic and Chris DiLorento just can't get the big hit ever. But they're your shortstops, so
Yeah, the Rams do also have an extensive injury list. To go with the bad luck on paper, some pretty key guys. Just going up and down this list on the sidelines.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Looking at Bill Raymond specifically, but about to be back. Back in the lineup for them. So yeah, this team scares the hell out of me. I think they're the team to beat maybe down the stretch. I mean, Phoenix has a pretty good lead on them. 8 games is nothing to sneeze at with 60 left or 50 left. But I expect to see Johnny in the postseason.
Yeah, that Bill Raymond, becoming healthy is a big add. I think it's almost as big as any trade. Looking at what this lineup is doing without really cashing in, you need a big bat in there, and that will help out immensely.
And this is definitely, like you said, the offense has been really good. This is definitely my favorite 1 through 9. I haven't looked at the defensive metrics of these guys, but just like looking at the lineup, like 1 through 9, I think this is the strongest roster of what we looked at for sure. And then they also are first in runs against, so the pitching staff's been really good as well.
A lot of balls in play. And that's a red flag to me. Is having a low strikeout number.
Yeah, 16th in strikeouts,
leading to a lot of errors, and that's a bad luck deal as well. The ball in play, anything can happen. Ball in play could be a home run, it could be anything. It's something where you gotta kind of mitigate the traffic and high leverage situations with a strikeout, and they just cannot do it.
Yep. So definite maybe weakness on this team as we look at them moving forward. Salaries, got some pretty good contracts here. Frank Pedroza, 32 years old, eating up a chunk of money this year, next year. This lineup's pretty old in general. 29, 30-year-olds. I mean, I feel like for this league, that's pushing it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he has some youth here too. I mean, we looked at the starting pitcher a second ago for his name already. But I think he was like 26. Danny Hess, we should talk about Danny Hess real quick. 23, switch hitter, pushing MVP voting. At least a top 3 candidate maybe this year for MVP voting. He led the league in WAR last year, did not get the MVP according to the.
Why is that?
Voting metrics.
Oh, because it was I see why. He didn't lead. He led the plate appearances.
Yep. Yeah, he wasn't anything super spectacular, but he's there again. He's a 3rd in WAR in the Fire Conference, so he's been good and he's super young, so that's a big piece for the Rams.
Yeah, not super. They're 28. The average age is 28.3, the same as Oahu. So. You guys are the same age as far as your 28-man roster is concerned.
Yeah, and I mean that's fair. But I'm actively tearing it down. So, and I feel like I'm really old with like guys like Esparza and Ola on the team that I'm basically just playing out their last year of their contracts. So
yeah.
So yeah, a couple of old teams in the Fire Conference, in the Ruby Division. Anybody in the pipeline before we move on? I feel like he always has a pretty decent system. He's got some pieces here. A couple of guys in AAA, so we are at that point where you might see call-ups at the end of the season. Jeremy Porton, a first baseman. We've got Mike Witten, a relief pitcher, who looks pretty good. This guy might be ready. So, and he's a lefty.
Yeah, there's some good pieces. I mean, he's got a guy on the 40-man. I mean, looks like a 5th starter, 4th starter, but looks reliable. Terry Wright, he's a AAA. I mean, it's always good to see what guys are on this list at premium positions. See, he's got center fielder, Ian Owens. He looks like a corner outfielder, actually. Yeah, so it's all right, It's good.
Yeah. Yep. And
Good,
he did pull in a couple trade pieces. Lazaro Rivas from St. Louis coming over for a triple A'er in Mike Witten. I think actually the relief pitcher I just highlighted got traded, which makes sense. I mean, he's he's second best bullpen ERA in the Fire Conference right now. So trade that relief piece for this left fielder, which I don't know. He's an okay piece. And then what was the other trade here? The Rams are bringing in Dylan Cuffey from Oklahoma City and Craig Turkios. So let's take a look at Cuffey real quick. Defensive shortstop. Cuffey's been great. This is a great pickup.
yeah.
And he only went for a fifth and a couple of top prospects. So Porton, that first baseman we just looked at, and David Ramirez.
Yeah.
So actually, I think this is a steal for the Rams almost.
Is he a free agent? Let's see. He's 2028. So
Yeah, I mean, if you can't pay him, you can't pay him. So you get what you can get. I think it's a great deal if you're a competing team to bring in a piece like that. Not trying to diss Reese or anything. No. But this is another good piece. This guy's been really solid. He's got good defensive metrics. He's fast. He's not the best offensive player, but
Somerville guy came out of our system. Loved him.
Yep. So yeah, active at the deadline, all the way down here from the 6th spot. So like we said, we expect him to compete, and it sounds like Johnny expects to compete as well. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that that's the team that's going to make the move through the standings.
I mean, we are at that point in the schedule. Once we hit the trade deadline, we've got one sim left where we're still interdivisional play, and then it's all divisional play after that. So it's just, can you beat your closest rivals? Which I really love our schedule, by the way. I should give that shout out to Jay for building it.
Steve's the only one who doesn't.
Yeah. Well, he just doesn't like facing you the first 3 games of the year.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next team. Larry Luchadores, Mexico City.
One of my favorite teams.
Consistently just terrible offense here in Mexico City.
Horrible offense. But if you want to retire and, play baseball, it's like witness protection. Mexico City.
He's in an offensive ballpark. I've never really realized that.
Yeah.
Did you see those numbers?
Yeah. I would build my team totally different if I was in that ballpark.
Yeah. It does make some of the pitchers that have been there more impressive. Crawford forever, who looks like he might be done.
I mean,
wonder how long he'll play out this money.
Eventually, the funny thing is like Ricky Guzman and really Ricky Guzman. I mean, let's talk about Ricky Guzman's career, because he's literally getting thrust into the closer's role. He's the biggest prospect blocker probably ever, because I mean, there's got to be somebody else who's been worthy of closing games out at some point. But the numbers are great. This is a guy who, I mean, they're okay. He's a guy who has that baseball IQ hidden metric that's probably like an 80, and you could tell by the results in his actual pitching ratings. But it's always a topic of conversation amongst one person, and it's Larry, that this guy's the best closer in the league's history. He is not, but I'll give him a vote for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I think his resume will be comparable to some guys that didn't make the Hall of Fame, but I also voted for all those relievers, so he'll get my vote. Whether or not he gets in with our voting,
it's
our body of GMs, I'd be surprised, honestly. Like, it seems really hard for a reliever to make it to the Hall of Fame here.
No, he'll make it in. It's just that he's
I'd take a side bet on that.
Pitched in a big game.
Yeah. I'd take a side bet on that. I don't know. I don't think he's a shoe-in. So
511 saves. Now he is. At certain points, I was like, whatever.
I guess. I mean, we kept I forget who out, but the dude was at like 400 something, high 400s.
Hobby, whatever.
Yeah. So if it's really just about that number, I don't know.
That number sucks. another rant. The save statistic does not matter.
No, to me, I mean, it's more impressive this guy has 4 Pitcher of the Year awards, but we also left a guy out of the Hall of Fame who did that. So,
Exactly.
so I don't know, but I don't know. The other thing here, we got Dave Henson. This guy looks really sexy. I hate that he's playing right now. I guess he's ready. But he went straight from A ball, and I don't know why you bring him up so quickly.
Yeah,
Like he's
he's
not even
the best player probably at the position.
He's not fully developed at AAA. You know.
He'd be in Double A for me.
Yeah.
But Larry may have no other options. This is a system that just does not produce offensive talent. It's unbelievable in that stadium. That's all I would do is get offensive talent and really destroy pitching staffs that come into that stadium.
Well, this might be his answer if this guy stays healthy and does develop. I mean, he's got a small track record of injury already, but I mean, the gap power, the power of the eye, it's all here. The contact, like it's OSA I'm looking at. So maybe hold on.
He looks good otherwise. I got my scout on right now.
Yeah. He looks okay. So
He looks really good.
not as good as OSA, but he looks good.
But once again, he's running the clock on him right now for a team that does not have a chance.
Right.
So
which sucks.
you know, you're using 20% of the pre-free agency service time up on this guy, and it's not worth it.
I don't like the jump from A to the major leagues on a competitive team, but I definitely don't like it on a team that's like not in the running right now. And I bet Larry's anxious to like turn this thing around. It's been a few years.
Larry's got to be anxious. I can hear it. It's another guy I talked to in the DMs. You can hear it in his voice, his typed voice, that he takes pride in having great teams. I don't know what goes on in his other 90 leagues, but this is probably not what he expects. But at the same time, it sounds like the guy it sounds like a baseball manager. It sounds like he's managing his kids' team, he's managing OTP teams. So I don't know. This is not up to his standards. I know that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, he's been riding these vets for a while, and again, he just got rid of Gullidge. That was his longest contract. So look in the contract page here, right? Crawford hopefully retires. I feel like for just to salvage his Hall of Fame career, he's going to retire.
This guy better pitch till he's 50.
No, yeah, he's fallen off finally. Look at that stuff at 35. There's no way he keeps going. Who's the other one? We were just talking about the closer. Where is he? How much is he paying the closer? Oh, Guzman? Jeez.
Next to nothing.
So that guy might pitch for a while.
Eh.
But I don't know. Like, he's not going to be too committed after some of these guys disappear. I mean, Santiago's a mistake. That hurts. Maybe not. He's pitched pretty good. What do you think of this guy's profile?
He was put into a list by Jay as one of the greatest pitchers in league history or something like that. I don't know. And because he had a big start, he had a lot of he had a high WAR. Jay likes that stuff. He's a innings eater. That's what this guy is.
It's 18th all time in WAR.
Yeah, and it's misleading because of the innings. Pitching WAR is not a great indicator all the time, and this is a prime example of that. The guy's a good starter. He's like a number 2. He's a great number 2 starter. Is the way I look at him. Very durable, obviously, but he's not the best at anything.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I mean, he keeps
definitely a rotation builder.
Again, I think his I don't know. I kind of disagree with you. I just look at his career resume here. His ERA's consistently been low. He doesn't give up home runs. He strikes out close to 200 guys a year, and we just talked about Mexico City's ballpark being hitter friendly. So like he's done this in a kind of a negative environment at home for his whole career. So
here's the other thing then. The team also plays guys who are all glove and no bat.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
So,
He does play some really good
there's
defensive
guys out there who have zero business being an OOTP that are playing like in the infield in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I'm about to write a letter to the company. Like, hey, don't let this guy stop making these guys with 80 gloves and 20 bats because they're going to be playing in Mexico City and we can't to prop up Andre Crawford's career. But whatever.
Yep, there's always two sides to the coin, so you're
like
not
Lorenzo Valenzuela is his shortstop. He has a love affair with him. I'm sorry. We should go on to a different team, but yeah, these people should not be in the TBL.
The defense is pretty good, but maybe this guy comes in the 8th or the 9th as a defensive replacement.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, yeah, let's go on to another team. Well, let's look quickly. I mean, his system, he's got the number 2 prospect in Matthew Cochran, which, I didn't really like this pick that much.
You don't like it when people have multiple catchers in their top prospects.
I definitely don't, but Cochran, respectfully, could play left field. It looks like he's a 65 potential. So, I mean, he should move him over to left field, like, immediately, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. But yeah, Robbie Lippert, a little more of a catcher profile, and this guy has offense and the defense and the personality, so I do like this guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in this list who it's odd because some guys are all bat, they can't field, and then he's got these guys that have great gloves and they can't hit. And Larry always favors the guys with the gloves. So he should just get rid of these guys that just hit and do nothing else.
Well, you just told him you should keep the hitters, so.
Yeah, but why mess up Andre Crawford's age 48 year?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing. There's 4 third basemen here in the top 500, so you should just convert Mario Rivera to a closer right now, because, I mean, something tells me historically that'll work out for you.
Yeah.
But, all right, yeah, let's move on to another team. Sorry, that was a long time in Mexico City. The Seals. What do we think of the Seals?
Man. Congratulations on the marriage.
It's coming.
Alex.
It's coming. He's engaged.
I traded him players in the offseason, and they just, other teams took him in, free agency and Rule 5 and stuff. He didn't even move him to the 40-man. So...
This team's bottom 3 in almost every statistical category, except for errors, but only because probably every ball, leaves the ballpark or, doesn't get hit anywhere near a fielder.
This team is... I hate... what's funny? I made a Sports Illustrated cover for the Fire Conference, and I gotta find the cover that I made, but it had a dead seal in the thing. The whole Fire Conference, the race for the fire. I had a dead seal in one of them, and I just felt bad. I just felt so bad.
It's funny. Yeah, the team needs some TLC, needs some exporting, needs some attention paid to it. Quentin Cook, 5 weeks injured, probably the reason this team isn't winning, if we're going to be honest. Because he would carry them to at least a 40 WAR, and that would put them right at about 500. So, yeah. Sal Cerda hitting 320. We got to talk about this guy. He's actually been okay this year. He's having a nice season. So, I guess we don't have to talk about him, but we can. So, Sal Cerda.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out.
Go right ahead. Another. I don't want to rip Quentin Cook. So let's go with Sal Cerda this year. You rip him.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if the Seals did anything at the deadline. I feel like they haven't been paying much attention. So let's just move on. Let's see if there's anything on the salaries. Not really, but yeah, let's move on. I guess moving on would be ranking them. JR, what do you think? You want to rank them first?
ranking. San Antonio's gonna pull it out, I think, just because. Whatever. San Antonio, Phoenix, Bighorn, Wahoo, Vancouver, Spokane, Mexico City, San Diego.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give Phoenix the benefit of the doubt, making those big moves. So I'll give them first. I think Bighorn gets second. San Antonio third. I'll get fourth. Sasquatch is fifth. Vancouver sixth. Mexico City, San Diego. We'll see. We'll see if it sticks that way, but it's a pretty tight race right now. So, all right, you want to go on to the Topaz or?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
I'll tell you right now, I'm getting silently yelled at through text messages right now to do something. So let's go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. It was on silent. I didn't see it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel, Huron Herons, 61-44. It's been a long kind of turnaround for this team.
Yes.
And he flirted with the postseason last year. He was like, right there in pole position most of the season and then missed. So is this the season? Is this for real? Is he going to be able to get the Herons back into the postseason? What do you think?
Yeah. I looked at these the two teams at the top, and they have, I'll call them game-changing bats. I don't love them, but they're producing. The Pineda-Ramirez combination looks good at the top of the Huron lineup, and that may be a differentiator because nobody in this division hits. Once again, this is all about run prevention. And this is like I don't want to call them boring because they win, but yeah, it's just like an ABC boring baseball team that wins a lot of games because they pitch and they run and they field and they do those things.
Yeah, all those boring things in baseball, like pitching and
no, they're not like Vancouver. Vancouver just shows up and they throw their gloves on the field and they see what happened. But this, Huron, they got a plan. They play like ABC baseball.
Yeah, they've got tied for sixth in home runs, but they've got some massive power in the second and third spot here. Pineda, 29 home runs already, 23 from Ramirez. But these guys look pretty nice, and Ramirez is the guy we kind of got to talk about. International signing this year. He gambled and paid him, $70 million over 3 years, and the dude's leading the league in WAR right now, 6.3. Good fielder. The offense has been there. So, gotta kind of love that signing. It's the reason I think they're sitting on top of the division right now. He's been a difference maker.
Yeah, it's a great signing. And he could play shortstop if he had to. The guy could be one of the best shortstops in the league if he was over there.
Yeah, who does he have at shortstop? Curious. Rizaki.
The guy who's
good
in
too.
Carolina.
So,
Can't even say his name.
Yep. Yeah, so he's strong up the middle. Definitely like that. Yeah, the team's sneaky good. I feel like they've been very kind of mediocre for a while. Are they darlings of the Pythag as well? I forget. They are +5. So they've kind of been outperforming expectation.
Yeah. Let me take a look at their bullpen. I think that's where I was most impressed with them.
Yeah, I mean, the bullpen's been really good for the most part.
Really good.
They lead the league in zone rating and 5th in defensive efficiency. So, yeah. Daniel's done a good job this year with this build.
Yeah, it was sort of like a mini rebuild for a couple years, and now like we said, I forget who we were talking about, but once your window starts opening, you gotta open it further, and that's what you're seeing here. Let's see, third in quality starts in the conference, first in saves.
Well, the Herons too. They've got a really strong fan base. They have a couple championships. So if this guy Armando Ramirez is someone to build around, he's got really no money committed anywhere else. So he could really make something here for the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's important. That fan base is probably the best fan base or strongest fan base in the conference, and you don't want to lose what was built on those huge years. I don't know if they were extreme at any point for fan loyalty. I know they're at what great now, so
Yeah, they're top in the Fire Conference. They're the only
yeah,
ones at that level.
that's
So
an advantage. There's
yeah,
we talk about finances in this league and selling tickets, but between the top and bottom of the league in merchandise, I think it's like a $8 to $10 million spread. And when we talk about the media, there is a slight difference in media money too. So there's teams that deserve to play on national television, even though it's a flat media deal for the league. You want to have a team that's you know willing to. Or that they want to put on TV or whatever it may be. So having the fan loyalty, having the market size is important. Keeping it where it's at, huge for the Huron because that's the lifeblood. What do you just give? Somebody that's got a bump.
yeah. Galveston has got a bump. We don't go below poor here. So if
We
you
don't
ever
go
see that
pathetic.
happen, feel free to
We
give a
don't call
call
our
out.
fans pathetic.
Yep. No pathetic
Yeah.
fan bases here.
Not like the MLB. They'll
No.
do it. The real MLB, they'll do that in a second.
Yep.
They love their pathetic fans. Not in the TBL.
But yeah,
Take
no,
care of that.
great team so far this year. Take a look at the pipeline briefly and then move on. Some good pieces here still. AAA, Chris Addy, his top piece. Maybe next year. Good stamina, good holds
Let's take a look.
runners.
Yeah.
5 pitches. Fragile.
So yes, hold on. He had 5 pitches, and he tops out at 100. Hold on a second. Oh, he had 6 pitches. I don't even know. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 5
I like
pitches.
That. I like that profile.
5 pitches, great stamina, hold runners. He
Yeah.
throws hard. Just got to get that control up. He could be a stud.
Yep, that's a good pitch. I like that. That's one of those prospects that stick in the league.
I mean, his other one's he's got a lot of guys that are actually kind of close if you look through his system. This guy, Josh Medora, here is maybe a year or two away if he develops. His numbers haven't been super impressive. Again, some injury concerns on some of these guys, but down here we got Mike Jordan and Bobby Salgado in AAA right now. So a couple outfielders. This guy's got 80 potential. What the fuck are these bars?
Yeah. This is the strongest. This is the
What are these
strongest,
offensive bars right here?
Yeah, this is the strongest system I've seen of the teams we've looked at. I just don't know. This guy, Mike Jordan, is very interesting.
I feel like I kind of cheated by looking at his scout because that's insane compared to OSA.
Well, my scout, I'll tell you what, my scout, he's got a 40-80. He's got a 65 contact, 60 BABIP, 70 K, 70 gap, 70 power, 70. So I'm not seeing that in the numbers.
And my scout doesn't have him there. My scout's got 40 to 60. So
Yeah, oh, really?
yep.
Yeah, I don't see the numbers matching up. That's a thing where you gotta kind of look at the numbers ahead of the bars, because a guy like that should be destroying levels.
Yeah, the numbers aren't there for sure. Weren't there last year and haven't picked up this year, to develop any further. So kind of a red flag.
Yeah, huge red flag.
Milwaukee. Let's go on to the next one. What do we think of Ryan's Mobsters?
Finally, kind of healthy, which is, they're very healthy. Which was a big thing for them. I know he just lost a couple pitchers for a while, but it's a team, once again, just of ABC team that has a superstar in Espinoza, and he's got a couple other guys. He's got this guy Carl Perkins, who's amazing. So he was talking about how he trades with Denver and he gets Paul Stett from Denver as well. So when he trades with Denver, he does the right thing. He takes players out of my conference and brings it to his. I like that. That's a great part of the Milwaukee franchise. I love them for doing that.
Yeah, there's some strong pieces here. And Ryan thinks it's his window because like I said, I traded him 2 closers for some first round picks at the beginning of the season. Chris Calvert's been really good at the back end of the bullpen. Bill Barker hasn't been as good, but hasn't been bad either. Maybe some bad luck there. But he's got other pieces too that have just been really well, and that's accumulated to being the best bullpen ERA in the Fire Conference. Just overall, his pitching numbers are pretty good. Second in runs against, and that's with a mid-range defense. So invested in the bullpen. The bullpen's been good. Starters have been good. Juan Samayoa.
We were talking about the Bighorn and how they do not score runs for some reason. Who knows? This is another team that gets on base and may not get the runs in, which when the league conditions are not when strikeout rate's high and the BABIP's low, we're not going to get sac flies we're not going to get ground balls advancing runners. You're not going to get those things. So that's not happening somewhere. It could be something very basic. It's not happening within the offense, and if he snaps it on, this could be a very good offense.
Yeah, and we'll take a look real quick. He did make a big over-budget trade with division rival St. Louis, although St. Louis hasn't been much of a rival for anybody in a couple of years. Kind of a rebuild situation there, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that, but I think
we will. St. Louis has been making a lot of moves.
Trades.
Yeah, a lot of moves.
Yeah.
So bringing in, let's see, Jeff Parmalee, John Shaw, and Eddie Lozano. Are these guys still in the lineup? They are. So Lozano, it's been pretty good in Nashville. Came over to St. Louis. It's been pretty good. So I like that pickup. And then the 1 and 2 pitchers here, really just a depth piece or a depth pickup. I feel like just adding more.
Yeah. Maybe we just jumped to St. Louis.
What's that?
We just jumped to St. Louis from Milwaukee.
No, this is the trade. These 3 guys are going to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Oh, those are the guys going. All right.
Yeah, John Shaw, Jeff Parmalee, and Eddie Lozano were all traded to Milwaukee.
That's a good deal. That's whatever happened there. That's what he needs in Milwaukee.
Yep. So Milwaukee sent back a AAA first baseman and a A+ closer, which I'm not going to look at them in detail. We'll see if they're in the prospect pipeline, but I'm not going to dig too much for these guys. Yeah, they're somewhere here. Juan Navarro and Chris Couch. So Juan Navarro right here. So a couple of prospects going to St. Louis, and like you said, they've been super active. But let's get back to Milwaukee. A lot of committed contracts here. Again, a lot of team options, so not as bleak as it looks. Bleak's not the right word, but not as busy. Busy is the right word as it looks. What are your thoughts?
I like I think that it's good to have a good 120 to 140 million of good payroll of players that you can count on, and he seems to have that. And I don't know. I like having money locked up like that. As long as it's not near like 180 million, 200 million, that's all right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any contracts here that are too scary. So I kind of agree with you. And I really like the Perkins contract. I think it's a steal how much he's paying Perkins over the last few years.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me, this is the biggest steal of a contract since the Posey contract. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Ryan's done a good job. Again, we haven't really talked about his team for a couple of years because they've been in that rebuild mode, and always put down to the bottom of the podcast when you are not competitive.
Yeah. I mean, get to know. I mean, that's right. Let's get to know like players like Carl Perkins and whoever else he's got going. Because this is these are cornerstones. These are guys that are gonna really make him a contender. I love Paul Stepp. I can't believe Denver traded him, but whatever. That's good. I'm glad he did.
Yeah. So in Milwaukee again in the postseason 2026. Looks like they're on their way back in 2028. Without some kind of collapse here. Okay. Is there anything else to look at? Anything in the pipeline? Did we already look?
Right.
Milwaukee. Oh, a couple top 15 prospects who are in Double A right now. Yeah. Meh.
That can't be real. I gotta look at my. I gotta look at my.
This is
what do you
my
call it?
scout. This is my scout right now.
I gotcha.
Yep. Ricky Castillo. I like this profile. Doesn't give up home runs. So. No, yeah, deep system. Yeah. He's been rebuilding for a couple years. I think Milwaukee's in pretty good shape. I can kind of see them gravitating towards the top of this division for the next.
He got a good handoff. Bob ran this team very well. So I think the franchise was in good shape when he got him, and they were down because Bob did start going through a rebuild, and they're right back up.
Has Ryan been here since Bob? Has it been that long? I feel like there had to be someone in between.
Was there?
Maybe for like a year or two. But I might be wrong. I think I did. Well, maybe I didn't. I'm starting to think maybe I did one of those breakdowns from Milwaukee, but I don't think I did anybody in the fire really yet. So, all right. Next up, the newest location for the what was once the Louisville.
I forgot who they were.
Louisville Rivermen. And then briefly the Louisville Thoroughbreds. Now the San Juan Stogies, and I actually really like this rebrand. And the team's playing well.
Okay. Let me just ask before we get into the team. Which teams in the league do you know of that had that went from warm weather to cold weather in your direction?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna ask you what your thoughts were on the weather change midway through the season.
I don't care. I just want a roof on my stadium. But no, I think if you got to make the change, you got to make the change or whatever. I don't think it's a big deal. We've gone through so many things in this league where it was,
Well, I can tell you, like Phoenix went up 30 degrees.
Draft classes and stuff. So I'm cool with this. This is fine.
I can tell you, Phoenix went up 30 degrees. Phoenix was in the 60s, and now it's in the 90s. As
awesome.
Average weather. Yeah, which makes sense.
That's big. The baseball flies.
For sure. Yeah, he's been missing that, honestly. And there were some others. There were a couple that lost 15 or 20 degrees. Oahu, actually, my stadium went up quite a bit in terms of temperature. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know what kind of impact it'll have across the whole league.
I don't know where Steve's team was, but I thought of him when he was I don't know. He's for some reason my guy stopped hitting. I'm probably because you moved to
20-degree drop
to a climate that's actually Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, what do we think of the San Juan Stogies here?
Yeah, this is another pitching heavy organization. If you're able to get into free agency and find a former Louisville, current San Juan pitcher or whatever through a trade or whatever, get him because he knows how to develop pitching. So another strong year across the board as far as run prevention and pitching. Surprise, surprise. Just another Topaz team that can't hit. So that's another deal where you're seeing, especially near the bottom of the order, I call pitcher spots, old National League pitcher spots where the guys are hitting like pitchers. So that's a problem, but
yeah,
I don't know what moves. Did he make any moves?
I'm not sure. I feel like he historically has not made a lot of moves, but I could be wrong. Let me look.
We just had a trade come through. St. Louis sends Juan Paz and Mike Payne to Kansas City. So St. Louis wheeling and dealing.
For sure. No, I don't see any moves by Louisville. It's funny. I was actually looking through in some of those Fire Conference teams, like because Jay was mentioning how many trades he's done over time, how many he's been involved in, and some of the lowest engagement teams and trades have all been in the Fire Conference. And thinking like San Antonio was one. I think Louisville was one as well. Excuse me, San Juan.
Yeah.
Sands.
I think we punked. I think this podcast has punked teams into making moves. I think that.
Well, I definitely did with George. I would mention it every single year when he ran St. Louis because he literally didn't ever make a trade, and he might not have been the only one, but I focused on him solely.
Yeah, well, he never made a trade in St. Louis before.
That till I think 2012, so it took him about 11 seasons.
He literally went 10 years without making a trade.
Yeah,
and that's tough. That's tough. You can't, whatever. It's tough to do that, but San Juan, they can get away with it, I think, in this iteration of the Topaz because their run prevention is that good. I like their I like their pitching. Look at where'd they get that closer from? Former Somerville money.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis, a trade with the Vancouver Vandals here.
Speak to me.
So,
but yeah, I like this team.
I'm trying to see if I'm correct here before we move on. I want to see how many trades this franchise has been involved with. Looks like about 45, so it's not actually bottom of the barrel. It's kind of like mid-pack, to be honest. So, but not active this year. And San Juan's been every other season in the postseason. They kind of were like you in the early 2000s, and they're trying to break the trend this year. They were in last year with 91 wins. If they can get back there this year, that's some staying power. And honestly, Chuck's been a pretty good GM over his time here. We say it most podcasts, but just looking at the team history, Louisville's been in the postseason a lot, and now San Juan, but just really hasn't ever been able to make that really deep run since kind of early on. So yeah, that's kind of what I think they're looking for. They're looking to get in and then win at least a series or two.
What a shitty system, not record-wise or player-wise, but I mean, he has teams in Havana, Kingston, Santo Domingo, Nassau, whatever. So there's a couple things about having teams in those cities. One, if they're in Havana, they might be starving right now. Two, these are they're tough places to leave when you get called up. If I'm living in Nassau in low A or whatever it is, full A baseball, and I get called up, I might not be too happy. I might actually want to stay there. Players may want to stay in these places. Very tropical places. I love the fact that he's got teams in those cities.
Yeah, you should see the bill on the ferry service between these two locations, but yeah. No.
Yeah, maybe a drug lord could kidnap your shortstop, but who cares?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The team, and I think you kind of mentioned it too, but the team's kind of boring to me. No one really stands out, but they're good. They're just kind of like a pretty good squad. So, contracts. Ed Pohl's only got really locked up for a lot of money, and it's coming off the books. And then he's got a bunch of team options in here. So, he's paying this dude, which I don't really like. But yeah, I don't know. Looks pretty healthy. And the Stogies have a pretty deep system. A lot of these guys are...
The records across the minor leagues look good.
Typically
guys
they do.
Must be thriving down there.
Yeah, typically he's got a really in-track minor league system. And most of his guys, as you saw there, all of his guys are AA or lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's got winning records across the board outside of the rookie league. So, all right. Who's in fourth place? KC, the Scouts. What interesting team.
Yeah, we speak. Um, we've spoken about the turnover. I think I mentioned that there's a little bit of decay in their roster. It used to be, head and shoulders the best, one of the two best teams in this conference. They've come back to the pack, and it's odd because this may be their best offensive team out of all those teams that they've had.
Yeah, yeah, no, I noticed that trend too. They've kind of flipped it. They're now like offensive heavy when they were like the pitching staff for a 3 or 4 year period. And Brad Wilson taking a step back with age. He's moving into his 30s. Still pitching okay, but it's been a couple years removed since he was like all-star ace of the league kind of thing. Arturo Rivera still looks pretty sexy, and it's just been too much of a load to carry with Kilby missing 13 months in that freak postseason injury in 2026, missing all of 2027, comes back this year, gets off to a rough start, out for the season. So I'm kind of worried his career is over. Two major injuries back to back like that, and that changes the trajectory of this franchise a little bit. But don't tell Brad that, because I think he's the one that just made that deal, right, for Mike Payne and Juan Paz.
Yeah,
So.
I think that as long as you have an overall of 70 or whatever, he can be traded. So his career is not. It can end very quickly. Like, he can come back next whatever sim he comes back, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I've got him at 65 right now. He could be fine. I mean, he's technically wrecked now. But I'm saying, like, you could see this guy in spring training, all of a sudden he's a 55,
career. I could see a career-ending injury for him. He's had two shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Shoulder.
Yeah. So, what was the other one? Yeah, right elbow, right shoulder. So.
Yeah. So that's a red flag. The shoulder's the only one that scares me. Whenever I see a pitcher get any type of labrum and rotator cuff stuff going on.
Yeah. This team, outside of the Kilby injury, has been hit by some other injuries as well. Pretty deep list of injuries, actually. Bill Garcia, this closer, who looks pretty elite, is out pretty much for the season.
It's a shame because he had such healthy pitching for so many years. I thought one of the top two rotations in the entire TBL, and it really is the Kilby stuff. The Kilby injury kind of took the it kind of took the bloom off the rose, whatever you want to call it. That's tough. And now Bill Garcia's injured, and he's going into a free agency year, injured. I don't know how you handle that. I mean, that's it. And I'm looking at Bill Garcia's comments. Bill Garcia's saying the club lacks leadership. I haven't seen it, so I just actually caught that there seems to be something going on with leadership within the locker room.
Yeah. Well, the money's locked up this year and next year, so he's definitely hoping Kilby comes back to form. Kilby's locked up through 2030. Brad Wilson's getting paid way too much. He gambled that he would hold up, and he's not pitching terrible, again, but he's not pitching $40 million worth. Even Rivera at this point. I mean, Rivera, actually, I'd probably still pay $30 million plus with what he's putting up. So,
yeah, and
it's funny.
The Potter signing in Boston is looking.
Yeah,
Potter's okay,
yeah.
but that's looking like he dodged a little bit of a financial bullet there. So I don't know. It's tough when you get a lot of talent and you don't have enough budget.
Yeah. It's funny that you said the offense too is having one of the best offensive years, because if you look, a lot of these guys are just like they've been there for a while. Schneke's been there forever. Rojo's been there forever. Slusher. And then some of the pieces he've added has just really worked out. So, No one else locked up outside of the pitching staff, but again, that's a lot of money on the books for the next few years for a team that's not super fluent with money, just because of their history.
Yeah.
But I will say, Brad's put this team back on the right track. You know, having made the postseason for the last 5 years, they're competitive this year. The fan base isn't what it was in that first decade. Like, I don't think it'll ever go back to being that low.
Well, the offense is really actually maybe something that carries them, and they're a dark horse. Third in OPS in the conference, first in batter WAR, second in isolated power, first in home runs. Um, so that's something that is that's pretty strong. I like that for Kansas City.
Yeah, and so it's funny. Again, we're talking about this team down in fourth place, and you know, looking at this Fire Conference, that team, the Scouts, and the sixth place team, the Rams, just kind of sleepers in their division, quite a ways back, but teams that I think could be dangerous. What do you think of the Rebels? Let's look at the Scouts. Sorry, we shouldn't skip the system. Just real quick. Then we'll
We
talk
need
about
Reese to do the system stuff, I think.
I know, yeah. Without Reese here, we should just skip the systems, right? But
But we can look at one or two players, of course.
yeah, everybody's in A or rookie ball here. It's not super deep in terms of top 500
Yeah, so
players.
that's what we should just start doing. If they gotta be at a certain level or a certain age for us to really consider.
Yeah,
them.
I've been trying to look at the double A or triple A guys, and then they have to have like a decent rating. But yeah, all right. Who's next? That would be Virginia, the newest GM in Virginia, taking over a long time seat of Andrew is our newest GM, Craig, and he's been a little active here at the deadline. He's made some moves. He took over this team. He was worried about having too much talent, and he's sitting at 52 and 53. We've seen this team kind of swoon and make runs and stuff like that before. But what do you think? Is this a situation of different GM, different style, and we're going to get different results all of a sudden?
I don't know. I mean, that's. I think doesn't have any of his fingerprints on it yet, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this team, honestly, because it's underachieving. Virginia is a team that doesn't matter. It could be any GM. This group of players needs to be better than 52 and 53, and wow, just another one of those teams where the offense numbers look good, but for some reason they're not putting, they're in the bottom. They're barely in the bottom half of the league in run in the conference and run scored. The pitching's probably not where it's been before. I'm looking at some of the players. They're not having great years, but it's about where they are in the standings, and like you said, you're getting back into the division. You can make some noise with this group of players. You can actually you can win the conference with this group of players.
Yeah, and Kansas City -3 Pythag, Virginia -4 Pythag, so they've been a little unlucky with the record right now. They could definitely be doing a little better.
Everything's close to the vest in the
yeah, this is
Fire Conference.
They're 9 games back, which is surprising. Huron has a 9-game lead on them, which is
yeah.
Huron's almost 20 games above 500. You got to give them credit. But you're right. No, I feel like Virginia is definitely not out of it, being 9 games back. And just looking at the wild card, I'm curious. 3 games back in the wild card, so definitely sitting right there in striking distance. But they did just trade away. Maybe they're sellers here. They did just trade away Francisco Ojeda, which was their cleanup hitter. Shipped him off to New Orleans. So
that's a GM style thing. I think that Ojeda is a guy who appeals to certain GMs. He doesn't appeal to me, for instance.
Yep.
But he's popular amongst these. He's been traded a couple times, and maybe that's where you see, the actual type of style that the GM wants to play. Because like we said, he's in the middle of it right now, and he just dealt a power bat. So I guess that was his number 4 hitter.
Yeah, I'm curious what he's going to plug in there. Honestly, this lineup looks scary. I feel like they're super underachieving with their team stat rankings. Like, I don't know. I like a lot of these. Maybe the offense isn't it. Maybe it's the defense. It's kind of boosting them, but
situational play. That's what it comes down to in, when I watch major leagues. All this stuff comes down to, stolen base or different pitching matchups. It's not the actual ball in play as much anymore. So it something situationally not right with the Rebels.
yeah. And I do think, even though he shipped Ojeda off, he got a 3rd and a 7th and a prospect. I'm not going to look at the prospect, but I feel like that's okay return for Ojeda. He is.
The bullpen is stacked.
Well, he's got this guy, David Green, here on the injured list. Oh, he's sitting in the 3rd spot, so never mind. I was going to say maybe he could plug into that 4th spot as well. But the bullpen is really nice. Kurt Graham's having a season for the ages. The ERA is under 1 right now. He has a higher whip than ERA. That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, like every part of this team looks as good as the teams that we just looked at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I guess you trade Ojeda for whatever. I didn't see Ojeda's contract, but I would stick with this group.
Yeah, I mean, it was his only trade, so he's not dismantling by any means.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, this is a team that's won 90 games on at least 3 seasons in a row here. Championship back in 2025, so not far removed from that.
This is going to be a hell of a race, a hell of a sim tonight. These teams need to break up this group here, because every time we look at these teams, I said they're boring, but they're all good.
Yeah, and it's really this. I mean, it's a clusterfuck for this wild card, and it's not just for one wild card seed; it's for 2 of them, really. A lot of teams in the Fire Conference. We've talked about a lot of teams tonight, and they're all in it. Except for Mexico City, San Diego. So, including the next one we're going to talk about once we get through Virginia. But looking at the contracts real quick, salaries: Alan Crow locked up. You can't hate that. Crow's been really good. Was he on the injured list? I don't even remember looking at him. Yeah.
An ace a team. There's an ace per team in this division.
I don't know how I missed Crow. Just looking at him. Where is he? He's not in the rotation.
Who's that?
Alan Crow.
Oh.
What's going on? Is he on the injured list? Oh, he is. He's on rehab.
Yeah, he's just coming back, off the. He pulled exports for this.
Yeah, I did pull exports. Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not on rehab or anything.
He's on rehab right now.
He is.
Yeah. I just missed it, but so that's a piece we missed. That's probably their best piece, and
that's so big.
Yeah,
this team is scary. This is another team just laying in the weeds.
Yeah, they're just this is the same thing that happened last year. Like Huron is a big lead right now, but I could see one of these top 3 teams fading and one of these bottom 3 teams rising for sure.
Well, we got 11, 10 weeks left. I always consider a 4-game lead a week. So whenever you see 4 games back, that you can you have a hot week, a team has a bad week, you can make that up in 1 week. So Virginia is basically 2 weeks out or 2 weeks behind. They can easily get right back into the top of this division.
Yep. And just for the history buffs out there, the TBL history buffs, there was a season where Virginia had a 10-game lead on, I think, Nashville with 10 games to play, and they blew it. They went on an L10, Nashville went on a W10, and Nashville won the division. So anything can happen, like you would say.
He sat all of his players the last.
Thinking he was in, I would too. I would get
No, but now I don't. Because of that, I just don't. I just play them. I don't care.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
Yeah.
All right, where were we? Virginia. We didn't look at the system. Take a look at the system. Then we'll move on. A lot of good pieces here. Like there's still a lot to work with, even though they've been a really strong team. They've got like they're not barren.
No,
Look how many guys are in
a lot
Triple
of
A.
pitching up the top, near the top.
He's got 8 top 500 prospects playing in Triple A right now. That's nuts.
How's this AAA team playing? Is it
It's got to be good,
are they
right?
running over people?
49 to 44, so not that great.
Hmm.
Looks like the pitching is not very good. It's all offense. So, and honestly, this is a system that's being neglected a little bit. So, if you're listening, Craig, I would definitely encourage you to dive into this because you've got a lot of really good prospects there, and you don't
That's
want
a
them
huge.
to.
That's a big hole. That's a big hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to lose prospects just because they have zero chance of playing a competitive baseball
Yep.
game up till Double A.
if they lose throughout their minor leagues, they'll get frustrated too. They'll dip
Yeah,
down.
they just
It's
don't-
just
they-
yeah. So you just want to make
they
sure you
lose
have
them
like
quickly.
the right pieces in place. Like looking at this 5-31 team here, you don't even have 9 guys in the lineup right now.
Yeah.
So and you've got like 10 catchers and no
Yeah.
infielders.
And take a look at the schedule.
You're not the
real
only
quick.
one, I bet. I'm not trying to shame our new GM here. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at this the standings page here. You can always just tell. This is what I do every season after week 2. I go in, I'm like, who has the worst record, and I DM these GMs. And I'm like,
Well-
hey, you should take a look at the fact that you have 2 pitchers
Oh,
here
jeez.
in St. Louis in your rookie league.
Take a look at any of those teams' schedules because this is, I think, the most important thing about rookie ball is understanding that there are just 0 days off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can look at.
Yeah,
Well,
it just
they have
goes
an all-star
straight,
break.
huh? Yeah.
But there's just no. If you don't have 45 guys ready to play and cycle in and out, guys will get injured. Your pitching's gonna get injured. You just have no chance. You gotta have enough at each position. Just no days off.
Yep. So I know you've been active here at the deadline, St. Louis. I know Craig, you're hopefully listening to this. You asked what the podcast was. Hopefully you get to listen to your team's piece. But make sure you're checking out those rookie leagues and everything above. There's plenty of talent out in free agency, just sitting there, 19, 20-year-old, that you can just plug those holes with. So take a look when you get a chance. So.
Don't tell them that.
Well, hey, yeah. All right, let's take a look at the next one. The OKC Outlaws are DSA scout Reese on his side gig. He's also a GM in the league. Let's take a look. This team has been in the playoffs 3 straight years now. So they've established themselves again as a competitive franchise after being basically the most successful franchise for the first 20 years of existence. 51 and 54 right now. I don't know. It's going to be a dogfight, like you said, to get these bottom 3 teams up to the top. What are your thoughts here on the Outlaws? And I just have to step away for 30 seconds, so it's all you.
Yeah, I'll wax poetic. Yeah, the Outlaws are just in a bad luck situation, being in a conference that is this competitive, because they are playing near 500 baseball, and I think that this Reese is a great GM when it comes down to picking talent. Bickler is of course the ace, and I don't know, that's a guy found in the 12th round, and he's getting a huge performance. He's right up there with any of the aces in the conference, and once again, 1 ace per team in this division. So it's it's tough every 5 days, and the rotation has depth. Once again, another guy closing that was brought up in the Somerville organization. There's like 5 of them in this conference now, and it's a team that has a hard time hitting. So a lot of bad luck. A lot of balls in play. 14th in strikeouts, 10th in defensive efficiency. That means not only is the ball getting hit, it's getting hit hard, and that's probably because of the back of the rotation. Ramiro Jaramillo is not a competitive starter in this league. Right now, he's just not winning games, even though his whip's pretty good. He just for some reason every fifth day they're just getting mollywopped. But a good team, slight rebuild. I think that Reese will be right back in the mix because everybody is pretty much under control going into next year. $170 million of payroll, and everybody's locked up. So a couple of quick adjustments, and he's back right where he needs to be. Hopefully, Paul's back right where he needs to be.
I am back. He's got Brian Lee here on rehab assignment in AAA. I don't know if you mentioned Lee, but fifth overall pick, in 2024. And this guy just has a really great profile. So I'm rooting for him to not be one of those injured guys. But I think I'm going to lose.
Do you like his numbers?
Well, I mean, no, I don't hate his numbers. He's putting up okay numbers, don't you think? I mean, they're not like that's his rookie and his sophomore year. They're not like.
Well, he got injured. What injury did he have?
Well, he has a lot of injuries. That's the problem, and a lot of it's to his right elbow and his right shoulder. So he had a radial nerve decompression surgery for 5 to 6 months. He had 4 months for an arthritic elbow. So probably won't see him ever at the top of the list of pitchers in the TBL.
This is exactly the guy I just shut down. It depends on, I guess, what happens this sim or over the next 2 weeks. A guy like Brian Lee is, I would try to save him.
So
by just shutting him down once you know what's going on with the season.
Well, I think he does know what's going on because, like we said, he was in selling mode. He got rid of Turkios here. He got rid of Cuffy. And maybe someone else. I'd have to look through the list.
Yeah. No, he's definitely selling, but
it feels like he's now making a push.
Yeah.
Which is kind of reasonable. 4 games back, so many teams in front of you. You got to get kind of lucky down the stretch to. You're definitely not out of it, but you got to get lucky down the stretch to beat everybody out. And he hasn't really stood out in any way.
No.
Yeah, I feel like Reese isn't afraid to wave that white flag for a season and get some assets in for the DSA
the way to
system.
do it. You talk about teams like we talked about Steve before. There's a couple teams where I wouldn't be surprised if they were winning their division next year, and OKC is one of them. Yeah,
can flip the switch really quickly. Did they trade anything else? I want to look through real quick because if not, I might make them an offer for that starting pitcher right there. I don't see anything else, but like expiring contract. I wonder if Morales is on the trade block or not. I might be interested in that. He looks pretty nice. I know he's tried to flip Dan Oaks, who's been having a bad season. But.
We all have money burning a hole in our pockets now. So we're like looking at players and we're like, yeah, maybe I'll sign that guy. We're all going to go after the same person. And then like Boston will give him $50 million.
Well, hey, Boston's already pretty committed. But, yeah. All right, system-wise, the Outlaws. Kind of shallow. Maybe not by DSA standards. We'd have to.
Well, let's see what he thinks about his own system in DSA.
DSA? Yeah, check the list. I don't have that
pulled up. Last rankings have him. Looks like somewhere I can't even see. He's in the bottom half of his own rankings.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever it is. I can't see it. What is it? 20th.
So I don't know. I don't think the Outlaws are back. I think.
No, and that's why we haven't seen many DSA rankings lately.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep. No, but again, he has been active here trying to flip some pieces at the deadline, and he has made a few successful trades. So, a franchise in good hands.
Yes, this is a tough division.
It is. I actually was going to say that. I think this
is the toughest division.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I think there's no weak links in this division right now.
No.
Even these new guys we brought in, Aaron has been kind of quiet. I don't know. I don't have a good read on him yet. Honestly, I don't have a good read on Craig yet either. But I feel like Eric is going to be dangerous just by some of the vibes I've been getting from him. So, yeah, we'll see. we'll see where that goes. And speaking of Eric, let's take a look at his team in the Nashville Blues.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Blues? Not much to say about this version, and there
Nothing
really
to
hasn't
say
been
about the
much to
Blues
say
right now.
about the Nashville Blues in like 20
you
years.
can do a system, whatever you want to do. But let me just say that I'm encouraged
Yeah.
because Nashville, whoever is running the team,
Eric.
was in
Eric
the chat defending themselves recently, and that's good. I mean,
Yes.
you want to have some pride regarding your franchise, no matter what your record is. Eric, he seems to be locked in as far as turning it around because he's having fun with it, and that's what I like to see. Yeah, it's you don't want to see. There's not many individuals. I don't think there's any now in this league where I'm like, I want to see this guy lose. I can't. I mean, before there might have been a couple, but Nashville is a. I want to see this team. I want to see him turn it around, and hopefully, hopefully he gets in the mix with these other teams very shortly.
I think it'd be fun for you and me to do like a historical, like not just like a who is the best GM, who's the worst GM today, but like a historical, like what is the best to worst franchise in the 28 years or the 30 years of the TBL.
Yeah.
And this one's
could take
bottom
them
three,
towards-
like easy. Easy bottom three, maybe the bottom franchise in the TBL. It's really hard with the expansion teams, but some of the expansion teams honestly have been not bad. Now that I think about it.
I think did Nashville have the #1 overall pick in the inaugural draft?
No, that was St. Louis. You always flip those two.
Louis,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So
Nashville's
Yeah,
never
these-
had a great player.
yeah, they never had a great. It's
This-
crazy.
I think we looked at this one year. They're battering leaders for career WAR. I know that's not your favorite stat, but
No, but we can. That's a good catch-all for this purpose.
yeah, we saw it somewhere. Going too fast. Yeah, here we go. So 30 career WAR is the max for
Wow.
anybody on their
Wow.
team. Which I would gamble to say is probably the lowest of any franchise. I don't really
It has to
look
be.
through all these, but
you automatically go to.
Phoenix was really bad for a couple of years. Hopefully, Brandon doesn't catch this part of the podcast. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But no, so Eric's got his work cut out for him. I feel like he's anybody who's active in chat to me is like trying to get into the community a little bit and
Yeah.
knowledge of the league, and that makes you a better GM. And that's why I kind of have some
And
faith in
that's
him.
what makes me root for people is just having fun, and that's. I mean, it's funny because like one of my favorite GMs, even though I don't want to admit this, is what's his name in San Antonio, Daryl, because he gave me shit one night for the trade. I was like, this is awesome. I actually want to talk about this. It's cool that somebody actually cares about all of this to that point.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
That's what I enjoy that stuff. So Nashville, good luck.
Yep, for sure. And honestly, we've seen over a good GM comes in if they've got the skills. We've seen a couple really franchises that I thought were lost causes weren't really ever going to turn it around have become kind of good. And like for example, Carolina, Rochester, like both those franchises were in really bad shape, and now are perennial playoff teams. Denver at one point too, right? So we've any team can kind of go from one place to another with enough TLC, and hopefully Nashville can get there. But salaries, anybody locked up here? We won't talk too long because we're just about done this.
All right. Well, this is a problem. This is what Nashville like. The
No
salary
money
owed
here.
for next year should be 0.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I haven't even looked to see who's owed what.
These are definitely like
But,
these predate him. I mean, this is a 5-year contract. So Josh Muskin owed for 3 years, so that's stuck on the books. All these, this is a 5-year contract with 2 years left. So all this money's coming off, and I think that's the direction he's going with it, just shutting it all. So,
And there's a lot of players that are making money over the age of 30. So that you gotta move off of the David Artola. First time ever heard of that guy or whoever. I would trade this Muskin guy. He looks like he's a performer.
there's no way anybody's trading for this guy.
Oh, half the contract.
Nobody's eating
Man,
half that
nobody's
contract
paying
at
for that.
34.
You're right.
Yeah,
I
that's
just saw
dead
the-
money. That's like, oh, I think I'm going to compete and I need someone to take this. Here's my first
Yeah,
round pick.
yeah. Ugh.
um,
Ugh.
but anyways, yeah, no. Looking at the pipeline, he's got some top prospects. I'm hoping they're all really far away because again, this is like a pretty serious rebuild project. So I'm sure he wants to just keep like, trading pieces away when he can and adding to this, and then hopefully have a
Let's look at Jose Medina. What's he got there?
Medino.
Number 6.
Oh,
I think he's the closest top prospect.
are you on Nashville?
Yeah, I'm looking. Jose, is that what that says? Jose Medina?
I see Jonathan Morel.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Molina. My eyes are screwed. I'm looking at your stream, so.
No, it's okay. I see.
Bear with
Oh,
me.
the 6th down. I see Jose Medina. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's 20. Was he 24? So yeah, let's take a look. How would we handle? How would? Wow, he's pretty good. This is a guy that is this a guy who starts the competency in Nashville? Guys like this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, this is a solid guy, right? Like he's not injury prone yet. He's got a ton of pitches, great stamina. Looks like he can really anchor a rotation, maybe.
Yeah. So even though my scout hates him,
this is on OSA. My
scout
scout
hates him. Never
hates
mind.
him as
Never mind.
well.
My scout says he doesn't want me to.
My scout
He
hates
doesn't
him
even want me
too.
to look at him.
Yeah, he's a 45 to my scout.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
But no, again, yeah, it's a long rebuild project.
You got to find when the window's opening. That's a theme of this podcast. When the window opens, step through it. You got to find the guy in that system that is worth doing that for.
Yeah. All right. You think anything's going to change from these standings? I'll go first. I think things will change. I don't think Huron holds on.
Did we do St. Louis? Oh, we did St. Louis.
Yep.
All right, just one thing on St. Louis.
No, we didn't do St. Louis. You're right. We skipped it over. I'm so sorry. Let's go back to Aaron.
I want to talk about James Dominic because I think that guy's awesome.
Yeah, let's go back to Aaron in St. Louis. So thanks for catching that. That would have been shitty to leave out a new GM on a.
Well, if I don't talk James Dominic, we're not talking anything.
Who we did just credit. You know what threw me off is we talked about St. Louis during Milwaukee, but yeah, James Dominic is the fucking man.
Enjoy him because he hits. And I wish he was in a different place, but I guarantee the fans love him. I always like to bring him up because he is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book, and he is finishing out his career very strong.
Yeah, he's going to finish his career in St. Louis. He's locked up for 4 years, $15 million. Not willing to trade waive the no trade clause, and that's even with them having been kind of historically bad. So he loves St. Louis. I don't think he's going anywhere.
So this is
first
this is
balloter
a great franchise cornerstone. I love franchise cornerstones.
Yeah, no, he's been great. He's been a franchise name, a league name. So got to give him a shout out because he might be declining. The numbers definitely look down.
Yeah, he is.
But he's about to be 37. It's pretty impressive. He's signed through 40. I love that.
Over the last 2 years, there's not many more consistent hitters in this conference than Dominic. He's got 58 homers. His OPS plus is well into whatever 130s. It looks like 135ish. I mean, he led the league in OPS last season. So, he's good.
Yep. We've mentioned super active at the deadline. I think like most of these pieces are gone. Like Juan Paz is gone. I think Mike Payne was traded. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's go through real quick. Talk about some of these trades without going into them. So yeah, Mike Payne and Juan Paz. So the back end of the bullpen was just sent away to Kansas City. He sent shortstop Jack Chevalier to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That went through twice. Oh, the retention. I see. Okay.
100% on one of them.
Dan Boyd, third baseman, gone to Huron, which we actually didn't mention on the Huron breakdown, but.
That trade for Vinny Paz or
Dan
Juan
Boyd's
Paz
nice piece.
and that got him 2 good pieces. I mean, that's as good as it gets when you're rebuilding. Just make a small trade like that, and maybe the prospects work out, maybe they don't, but you got something there. You got something at the deadline that
I'm
to
impressed.
build.
I think he's traded pretty much his whole team here. It's actually like extremely impressive. I think he's on the right track. He's brought in a ton of assets.
Look, when you come into the league and Anthony did a great job saying, hey, I'm going to make some trades. After work, I got to go to work first. you know, but he's thinking about making trades at work. That's what that tells me. So, he's ready to dive into this. I love that. I love that. It's awesome. So I think this is a division that is going to be a killer very shortly. It is right now, but you're lucky you're hiding in a ruby.
Yeah. You mean the topaz? Yeah.
No, I say
Oh,
you're lucky
me
you're
talking to
hiding in a
me, talking to
ruby.
me. Yes, I understand. Yes, no. Yeah, no. There's still some weak links
Yeah,
in the bottom of our division, but
yeah.
no, you're right. No, this team looks dangerous. I was just trying to count like how many players he traded. I think it's like 9 or 10 players at the deadline. So very impressive. Traded for a lot of I noticed prospects as well. So going for actual talent as opposed to draft picks, um, which is interesting. I guess there's actually a mix there. I'm making that shit up. A little bit
Yeah.
of both. So, but anyways, all right, that's it. Now we've gotten through all 8 teams. I think I think the Herons are going to get passed. So I think Milwaukee's going to get passed too. I don't know why. Um, Actually, no, I'm going to give it to Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's one. I think we're going to see KC come up. I'm going to do Milwaukee 1, Huron 2, KC 3, San Juan 4, Virginia 5, OKC 6, St. Louis, Nashville.
Yeah, I'm gonna go San Juan,
Huron.
Milwaukee, Huron. I'm sorry. Let me change that up. I'm gonna go. This is so tough. Uh,
It's all
I'm sorry.
guess game.
Let's go Milwaukee, Huron, Kansas City, San Juan. Wow, I don't believe it, but Virginia, um, OKC, St. Louis, Nashville. That can be any order. Looking at the wild card, who's not going to make it is my question.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's tough to even because I mean a couple teams couldn't make it that are really good at least in this division this year. It looks like the
I was
Fire
talking about,
Conference. Can I say like
yeah,
I feel like this is unnatural for most seasons, but I feel like the Fire Conference really took it to the Ice Conference this year in interleague play. Just looking at the records across the board, because there's a lot of above 500 teams in the Fire Conference. There's heavy hitters in the Ice Conference, but in terms of overall talent, I think there's more talent in the Fire Conference.
yeah. I think your mic is cutting out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. So,
Just,
anyways, yeah, that's it.
looks good.
Anything you want to say about the ice?
Not really,
Yeah.
because it's the same six at the top, and then there's a rush for the seventh. Yeah, I do want to say something.
Who's coming out?
That should be nice. I'm not going to say fuck Philly, but Baltimore is going to win the wild card. I just have it. I don't know. I just that win four and all that. Out of the best teams in that mix, they're the best.
I could give it to them or Toronto. Um, I don't know. Las Vegas could always sneak in. Yeah, it's really tough for me. I don't know who's going to take that last spot, but it's pretty wide open. I mean, Durham's been
I picked
sneaky. Durham's
I picked
Durham's right.
Galveston.
Oh, say that again. Might cutting out.
I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry. I picked Galveston to be in the playoffs. I think in the preseason. I think the mic cut out.
I was just saying they're on a W5 right now, but maybe peaking too early.
Yeah.
But anyways,
just from I guess what am I in first? It doesn't feel like I'm in first. It's just like get to the playoffs and be healthy. That's all I care about.
Yep. You are holding down. I don't know if you'll win the division. You're definitely right there in a 3-way dogfight. So that's been a pretty good race. Rochester's been kind of running away with things, but they've evened out here lately. I don't know. Denver might be able to catch them. And New Orleans has been, surprisingly resilient after missing the playoffs last year, right? So
yeah, that's the surprise in the ice with the top 6.
Yeah, to me that's my maybe GM of the year vote.
But it's not really a surprise because of the GM and the history.
Yeah, I mean it's been a couple of years, so this is like their I'm back on the stage kind of moment maybe. It hasn't been that long. Okay. Well, they got in at 81 and 81. That shit doesn't count. So it's been a couple years. I hold by it. That's 2, a couple. Anyways, who's gonna win it all? The money line.
Yeah, all right. You want me to put it? Somerville's gonna win it all.
There we go. Okay, I like the prediction.
That's it.
All right. I'm gonna go with Oahu, another playoff contender.
There you go. Perfect.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the podcast. We sim in an hour and 15 minutes. Get those trades in. It's not too late. Everybody. It's not too late to trade. So sim will probably be kind of late though, because I'm gonna have to process about 20 trades, but that's okay. Love to see the activity.
Hey, take your time. I'm about to get. I'm about to get aired out for about an hour. So.
Well, good luck. Good luck on the home front with that.
Yeah, don't worry.
Fingers crossed for everybody that every process or every trade's valid. I don't want to have anybody get screwed. But if anybody's on at the deadline when I'm processing, I'm happy to help fix things. You just gotta hit me up. But all right. Go. Thanks, JR. As always. Until next time.
Great time once again, Paul. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.